Hi, my name is Steve.
And my name's Meredith. We heard that you're going to be having surgery, either at Children's Mercy Hospital or Children's Mercy South.
We had surgery not too long ago and wanted to tell you about having surgery so that you'll know what it's going to be like when you have your surgery.
You are probably wondering about the places you'll go and the people you meet. We were curious too. Relax. We're going to tell you all about it.
Another word for surgery is operation. You have an operation so the doctor can fix a part of your body that isn't working quite right, so you can be more healthy.
It's important to do everything the doctors and nurses ask you to do before and after your surgery.
First, your doctor will talk to you and your family about having the operation. Once they decide that you should have an operation, the doctor and your parents will fill out all the forms and paperwork to get you ready for your day of surgery. Be sure and ask your doctors and nurses if you have any questions about your surgery.
A few days before your operation, you and your parents may have to come back to the hospital for a checkup and maybe some tests. This is called pre-admission testing. Sometimes at this visit, they might need to take x-rays, which are pictures of the inside of your body, or check a little bit of your blood. During these tests, it is really important that you hold still. The nurses are really nice. You may also get to talk with the anesthesiologist, who is sometimes called the sleepy doctor. This doctor will talk to you and your parents about the kind of sleep you'll have during surgery. Then, you get to go home again.
Before your operation, you can also come to the hospital for the pre-op tour. There will be lots of other children and their families there to learn about their day of surgery too. A child life specialist will be there to tell you all about the hospital and show you some of the things that doctors and nurses will check you with on the day of your surgery. The child life specialist helps you to understand many things about the hospital.
The morning of your surgery, it is very important that you do not eat or drink anything after your parents tell you not to eat or drink. The nurse will call your parents the day before your surgery and tell them what time you should not eat or drink before your surgery.
It's important to follow these times because even if you have a sip of water after the time given, your surgery may be delayed or even canceled.
You can't even have any gum or candy before your surgery. Nothing by mouth is what the nurse says.
The reason the doctors and nurses tell you this is because if you have food or liquid in your stomach, you could get sick and vomit, and this would be very dangerous.
You'll come to the hospital on the day of your surgery. You and your family will go to the same-day surgery waiting room to first check in. When you get to the waiting room, your parents will check you in at 2 desks. At the first desk, they will check your paperwork. And at the second desk, you will sign in to let the nurses know that you are here. You will probably get to wait for a little while in the waiting room. There's a lot of fun stuff to do, and even some games to play. The nurse will call your name and will take you and your parent to a room called an exam room. The nurse will have you change your clothes and put on a surgery gown, like hospital pajamas and some slipper socks. After you've changed your clothes, the nurse will ask you and your parents some questions, and then the nurse needs to check a few things. The nurse will give you a special bracelet called an identification bracelet that will have your name on it. If you have any allergies, be sure to tell your nurse. Your nurse will put a green bracelet on you, and this will tell all the doctors and nurses what you are allergic to. You can bring a stuffed animal or doll with you, and your stuffed animal or doll can get a bracelet too, and then you can take it to the operating room with you. One thing the nurse will use is a blood pressure cuff to give your arm a hug. The blood pressure cuff tells the nurse how fast your blood is moving through your body. Next, the nurse will use a stethoscope. Do you know what a stethoscope does? It listens to your heart. It can be a little cold at first, but all the nurse does with the stethoscope is listen. The nurse uses a thermometer to check your temperature. Sometimes they check your temperature just inside your ear, and some kids say it even tickles a little bit.
The nurse will put a little red light called a pulse oximeter on your finger. It tells how well you're breathing. Don't worry though, the little red light never gets hot. 2 other things the nurse checks are how tall you are and how much you weigh.
After the nurse is done checking you and asking your parents some questions, you will just wait in the exam room so that you can meet with 2 doctors. One doctor you will talk to is the surgeon. the doctor who's going to do your surgery to fix the part of your body that isn't working quite right. The other doctor you will meet is the sleepy doctor, who is also called the anesthesiologist. The sleepy doctor will talk to you about the kind of sleep you'll have during surgery. It's different than when you sleep at night. You will breathe sleepy air through a plastic mask, which helps you sleep just during the time of your surgery. Some kids may get their sleepy medicine through a tiny tube in their hand or arm, called an IV or intravenous catheter. Then, when your surgery is over, you'll breathe wake-up air, which is oxygen, just part of the air that we breathe, that helps you wake up. If you and your family talk to the sleepy doctor during a pre-admission testing appointment, then you probably won't talk to this doctor again, unless you or your parents have any questions. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. The best part about the sleepy air is that you can choose what flavor you want it to smell like. You can choose from tangerine, which is kind of like orange, banana, strawberry, or bubblegum. Which one will you choose?
Then the surgery nurse will come and get you for your surgery. This nurse wears special clothes called scrubs. These clothes must be very clean to go into the operating rooms. Your parents can go with you as far as the doors to the operating room, but that's where you should give them a great big hug and kiss and tell them you'll see them in a little while. Your parents get to go to the surgery waiting room, which isn't very far from where you'll be.
On the way to your surgery room, you can ask your nurse questions about different things you see in the hallways if you want. In the surgery room, you'll see a bed that you get to lay on during your surgery. Also some bright lights and some machines.
You might also see some shelves that have a lot of medical items on them. But don't worry, the supplies are not all for your surgery. The doctors just keep all of the surgery supplies in the surgery room, so they're close by and stay very clean.
There is a machine that shows how your heart works during surgery. Before you smell your sleepy air, you will get 3 special stickers, 2 on your chest and 1 on your belly. These stickers have a little silver spot in the middle that a small clip attaches to and connects to a thin wire that plugs into this machine. When you are asleep, the doctors watch the wavy line that shows how your heart is working. The sleepy doctor will also put a little red light on your finger and the blood pressure cuff on your arm. Once you lay down on the surgery bed, you will breathe your sleepy air through a plastic mask. And the next thing you'll remember is
being in the wake-up room. It's also called the recovery room. You might see other kids waking up and hear some beeping noises too. You will probably have some tape on your hand or your arm. This is called an IV. You have this so nurses can give you medicine. Don't worry, the nurse will take it off before you leave the hospital, and it feels like a Band-Aid being taken off. You will have your own nurse taking care of you, and when you wake up enough, guess who you'll get to see again? Your parents.
Once you meet up with them outside the recovery room, you will get to go to another area, which depends upon the type of surgery you had. Some kids may have to stay overnight, and they will go up to their room. Some kids who have their tonsils and adenoids removed go to an observation area for usually about 4 to 6 hours. But most kids ride on their bed that has wheels. Neat, huh? To the second recovery area.
There, you will get to sit in a big, comfy reclining chair, have some apple juice or Sprite to drink, all while the nurse is giving your parents special information on how to take care of you at home. It's now time for you to go home. You can ride out of the hospital in either a wagon or a wheelchair. You get to pick.
Our day of surgery went by really fast. We had surgery and got to go home on the same day.
My day of same-day surgery was very memorable, and yours will be too. The doctors and nurses are only here to help you, so be sure to listen to what they have to say.
It's okay to be a little scared or nervous, but the doctors and nurses here create a safe environment for your surgery and are willing to answer any questions you may have about your big day.